stories on top of stories. I used to work for Al Capone. He walked right up to me and he said, "Boy, you playing in New York tomorrow night, you hear?" The son of a pull out this big revolver. And I say, maybe I do open in New York.
I'm Terry Teachout. I'm the drama critic of the Wall Street Journal and the author of Pops, A Life of Louis Armstrong. Most recently, I have just written my first play, Satchmo at the Waldorf.
All them memories, all in my head, come out the horn.
This is not a play for your kids, unless you're the kind of parent who would take your kids to see a David Mamet play. The language is extremely strong. It's the kind of language that Armstrong himself used in his private life. I know that because he left behind many privately recorded tapes of personal conversations, and I know how he talked. This is the way jazz musicians talked. It is very high voltage when it comes to 4, 7, 8, and 12-letter words, but it's authentic, and I think that's important. When he talks like that, you know that it's not the nice, cuddly Armstrong that you remember from television back in the 60s and 70s. You know instantly that it's the real man talking to you. And I think that's part of what gives the play its credibility. Armstrong's legacy is a very rich one. Of course, first of all, it's a musical legacy. He absolutely changed the face, changed the sound of jazz. He created the language of jazz that we all know and recognize today. But he also has a significant cultural legacy. He was, for many white people in America, I think very likely the first black person whom they loved. He was somebody that they saw in the movies, on television, before that on the radio, somebody who in a sense came into their homes. And that was an immensely important thing for a black man to have done in the 30s, in the 40s, in the 50s, in that different world of American culture. Satchmo at the Waldorf is a one-man, three-character play.
Told me where to play, told me who to play with. There's nothing I wouldn't do for Louis, not a goddamn thing, understand? I'm Louis and Louis me.
The actor plays Armstrong, he plays Joe Glazer, his manager, and also in what you might call a cameo, he plays Miles Davis. It's set at Armstrong's last gig, which he played 4 months before his death at the Waldorf Astoria in New York. He was at the end of his life, he was sick, it was hard for him to get through that gig, and he was troubled. He was having doubts because something had happened in the last decade or more of his life. He had lost his black audience. He'd lost them because the black audience had essentially moved away from jazz. They preferred rhythm and blues, they preferred the musics that followed that. And Armstrong, being a man who was born at the turn of the century, couldn't make that leap with them. So he suddenly realized that he was playing for white audiences. And it was something that troubled him very much and that he didn't really understand.
70 years old and here I am at the Waldorf Astoria.